Welcome back to the deep dive. So, a lot of you have sent us sources about one of Europe's most iconic little cars, the Fiat Panda.
A true classic.
Exactly. And our mission today is to do a really calm, objective analysis. We're putting the traditional combustion engine model, the mild hybrid, head to head with its new electric version.
And this is so important because the Panda's whole identity is built on being affordable and practical. For the electric version to have a chance, it has to win on the economics.
Right. So we're not doing a quick road test here. We're digging into a really deep analysis of the total cost of ownership, or TCO, over, get this, a projected 30-year lifetime.
Yeah, a 30-year model. It's ambitious, but it's really the only way to see the true financial picture.
Hmm?
Our whole analysis is based on these detailed calculations for both cars, assuming about 12,000 kilometers of driving a year.
Okay, let's unpack this. And we have to start with the elephant in the room, the sticker price.
Of course. And this is where the ICE Canada seems to run away with it. You walk into the dealership, and the mild hybrid is sitting there for about 18,000 euro.
And the electric.
The electric starts at 24,900 euro. So that's a nearly 7,000 euro difference you're supposed to find right up front.
And that's a massive psychological barrier. We see it in all the consumer data. High purchase prices, the number one complaint about EVs. You see that gap, and the calculation just stops.
It stops cold. That's the short-term thinking. But when you apply these more objective models, what they call multi-criteria decision-making, and factor in everything,
The whole 30 years.
the whole 30 years,
Yeah.
battery electric vehicles almost always come out on top. The sticker shock is real, but the price tag itself can be very misleading.
And for the Panda, the final result from this TCO model isn't just a small difference. It's a total reversal. Despite costing more upfront, the electric Panda is projected to save its owner a net total of around 19,100 euros over its lifetime.
19,000 euros. That's more than the entire initial cost of the combustion model.
So the big question is, where does that saving come from? You'd assume it's all about fuel, right?
That's the common assumption. But the sources are clear that the biggest, most decisive factor isn't what you put in the tank or the charging port. It's maintenance.
Oh, okay, that is interesting.
It really is. It all boils down to mechanical complexity versus simplicity. The engine in that little ICE Panda has over 2,000 moving parts.
2,000.
2,000. All creating friction, heat, wear, and tear. The electric motor, it typically has fewer than 20.
20. So you're going from 2,000 parts that can fail to just 20. It's not a question of if something will break, but when.
And how much it's going to cost you. There are studies that have broken this down per kilometer. For a typical ICE vehicle, maintenance costs about, say, 15 cents per kilometer. For a battery EV, it's more like 9 cents.
So right away, your routine servicing costs are almost 40% lower.
Exactly. And when you stretch that over 30 years and hundreds of thousands of kilometers, the cost for the ICE model they stack up. The analysis puts the total maintenance bill for the ICE Panda at a staggering 30,000 euro.
30,000 euros? That's almost twice what you paid for the car in the first place.
It sounds unbelievable, but it's all based on things that are pretty much guaranteed to fail. The analysis budgets for 4 or 5 timing belt changes. That's 2,000 euros right there.
And it's a city car, so I'm guessing the clutch takes a beating.
A huge beating. So you're looking at 2, maybe 3 clutch replacements. That's another 3,000 euros.
And don't forget the simple stuff, the oil changes.
30 of them. Over 30 years, that alone adds another 6,000 euros to the bill. And that's before a turbo goes. Or you have a timing chain issue, which can just devastate your wallet.
Cost the electric Panda just doesn't
It
help.
just avoids them completely.
Yeah.
Its total maintenance bill over the same period is projected at 22,000 euros. And what's really crucial is that this number includes a 10,000 euro reserve for a full battery pack replacement.
Wait, let me get this straight. Even if you have to pay for the single most expensive component in the entire EV, a brand new 10,000 euro battery, you still come out ahead of the combustion car?
You still save 8,000 euros on maintenance alone. The cost of all those little ICE repairs combined is more than the one big battery replacement you might face in year 15.
And you get other benefits too, right? Like with the brakes.
A huge one. Regenerative braking means the actual brake pads get used way less, so they can easily last over 100,000 kilometers. On the ICE model, you're lucky to get 50,000. The math is just brutal, and it's the real driver behind that 19,100 TCO difference.
Okay, so let's add fuel to the fire, so to speak, the operational costs. Maintenance is the big killer, but the energy savings must count for something.
Oh, they definitely do. It's a significant chunk.
Yeah.
Over 30 years, the ICE Panda is estimated to burn through 36,000 euros in fuel.
And the electric?
The EV's energy cost is exactly half.
Yeah.
18,000 euro. The electric motor is just fundamentally more efficient at turning energy into motion.
So the economics are crystal clear. The long-term math is not even close. So why aren't people lining up around the block for the electric Panda?
Well, this is where we get into the human element, the psychology of it. That high purchase price, as we said, is a major barrier. But beyond that, you have the twin fears: range anxiety and charging time.
Right, the classic EV concerns. But the analysis you sent had a really interesting point about range. It said for the people they surveyed, it wasn't actually the biggest problem. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, but you have to remember the kind of car a Panda is. It's a city car. The analysis suggests that for that kind of typical mixed-use driving, the sheer size of the maintenance savings basically outweighed the fear of a shorter range.
So people were willing to trade a bit of range convenience for thousands of euros in their pocket.
Exactly. The takeaway was that people are generally ready for different charging options: home, work, public. The anxiety is there, but the economic benefit is a powerful counterbalance.
So there's a clear tipping point. The ICE model really only makes financial sense if you barely drive, like under 8,000 kilometers a year, or if you're constantly doing long-haul trips in places with no chargers.
For almost everyone else, the EV wins on paper.
So, what does this all mean? The math works, the long-term value is undeniable, but the ICE Panda is still the bestseller. What's holding the new tech back?
We're past the engineering and the spreadsheets now. We're into public awareness and policy. The research suggests the biggest barriers, even more than price or range, are a lack of public awareness and a lack of strong government incentives.
You're saying people just don't know about the programs that are already out there to help them?
That's what the surveys show. A staggering 95% of the general public were completely unaware of the government incentives available in their own area.
95%.
So people are making this huge financial decision based on incomplete, often wrong, information. They just see the high sticker price because they're blind to the policies designed to lower it.
It basically makes the policies useless if no one knows they exist.
It completely nullifies them. And yet, we know policy works. When they analyze what influences a purchase, government incentives were the second most important factor, right behind the total cost of ownership itself. It's the lever you can pull to change the math overnight.
And the best example of this is always Norway, an oil country that went all in on EVs.
They completely rewrote the rulebook. They offered massive tax exemptions, including on the 25% VAT. They gave EVs free tolls, free parking, access to bus lanes.
They just kept adding benefits.
They stacked the incentives so high that the electric car became cheaper than the combustion version from day one. They didn't just reduce the sticker shock, they eliminated it.
So that's the roadmap for the electric Panda. Its success isn't really about the car itself anymore. The mechanics are sound. It's about building the support system around it.
Absolutely. You need to raise awareness of that 19,000 euro long-term saving, and governments need to step in to close that initial price gap. If they do that, the whole conversation changes. The EV becomes the obvious rational choice.
And you need the chargers to be everywhere. The survey respondents wanted them in all of the above locations: home, work, highways, public squares.
The demand is there. The economics are there. The infrastructure and the awareness just need to catch up.
This has been incredibly clarifying. The deep dive shows the economic reality is overwhelmingly on the side of the electric Panda. That high initial price is really just a down payment on a long-term investment that pays you back over and over again.
Which brings us to a final, maybe provocative thought for you to chew on. The source material pointed out that highly educated people tend to prefer an EV for environmental reasons, while wealthy people aren't as swayed by the affordability argument.
Okay.
So if knowledge and a sense of, environmental duty are stronger drivers than just saving money, how much of the electric Panda's success depends on our collective values catching up to the financial reality you now know exists?
That is a fascinating question to end on. Thank you so much for sharing all this incredibly detailed source material. And for all of you listening, if you enjoyed this analysis, please follow the channel. It lets us keep bringing you these deep dives that really cut through the noise.
Until next time.